Oh, you might want to plug that in.
Yeah.
It might help.
Hey, I turned my mic on, unlike some people.
Hello, everybody. We're about to go live on the Upstate Pulse. Looks like the YouTube thing worked. Woo! Welcome into the Upstate Pulse on a beautiful Saturday night. Don't say, yeah, Alonzo, but it's raining. So here's the thing. You know, I try to have a positive outlook on life. And one of the positive things that I would like to say is there's always something good in the bad. Now, you may say rain is bad, but you know what rain does? Rain causes the grass to grow, all that kind of stuff. And it's not snow. And the people who want snow, go to North Carolina. I think there might even be some tonight in North Carolina.
That's what I do.
Yeah, so go to North Carolina. We don't need that here. So we're getting a little bit of sprinkle out there. I will say on the negative side that if you're on Woodruff Road, stop blocking the Woodruff-Garlington intersection and enjoy the show because you're going to be sitting there for the next 2 hours trying to get onto the freeway. So allow us to bring that anger down a little bit, maybe cause you to smile a little bit, even if it's, man, Lonzo is so stupid. He makes me like a genius. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to make everybody geniuses. And you're welcome. We are going to have a great show tonight. Why? Because we always have a great show because we're hanging out on a Saturday night. And you know what we're doing? Not only are we live on 106.3 WORD, where you may be listening to us, but we are also live on Facebook at 106.3 WORD, at the Upstate Pulse, and at my personal Facebook page, Lonzo and Word. We're also live on Twitch and YouTube at the Upstate Pulse, and we're live on YouTube on 106.3 WORD, and live on my Twitter on Lonzo and Word. So we are live all over the places. So if you want to see what some of us look like, and if you want to go, yeah, Tim has better hair than Lonzo, like, yeah, right, that's fine. He might very well have better hair than me now, but 54-year-old Tim compared to 54-year-old Lonzo, maybe his hair is not as pretty as you think it is. And you may be saying, why are you talking about hair? Because we can talk about anything that we want to talk about on this show, except for one thing. We don't talk politics because we don't need that. You get plenty of that on our award-winning programming during the week with Tara and Vince and Dana and Mark Levin and Charlie and all that stuff. Plus you get a little bit of the weird, which is what we get into with like Ground Zero on Coast to Coast. Ground Zero, if you're listening to the show, stay tuned to some Ground Zero afterwards. You'll thank me because it's awesome. Cameron absolutely loves it. Speaking of Cameron, Shukachibra Cameron with me this evening.
Hi.
There we go.
I hope you don't get me that mug you keep threatening to get me.
Hey, they've got some merch, man. It's some cool looking merch. They got to get me some Ground Zero merch.
Look, you're a big fan of it. I understand. It's a very good production. You should just, get it for yourself.
It's thought provoking, just like Matthew Causey is thought provoking.
I can be sometimes, and sometimes I am not. There's no in between.
He has depth of being, like he has depth of voice. You can use that if you want. And finally, because he usually gets introduced first, I saved him till last because because
he saves the best for last.
Because he's a star. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. That would be T2 Tim Snow.
What up?
Here in the house. Okay, this show today, we are going to be talking about a little bit about what happened on Radio D&D. And I'm not going to call it what Rob Brown from the Rob Brown Show calls it, because it's lame and I'm not doing it.
So not Radio D&D, Radio D&D-O?
See, you couldn't even say it with that. I mean, it's whatever.
It's so hard.
Yeah, whatever, Rob Brown. We're going to do some Nerd Rage, something we haven't done since Tim's been here.
Yeah.
And so if you have something nerd that you want to sound off about, send us a text, 71307, or a message on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. I didn't get a chance to talk to Matthew about it because I just forgot. So now he's hearing this for the first time. He'll get to see how this works. I haven't played the Rage intro since Tim's been here, like 2 years or so. How long have you been here? I don't even know.
It's been about almost 2 years.
Yeah, that's something like that. Matthew's been here like 6 months. No one even knew that. I didn't know that. He'll be here 5 years, and I'll be like, how long have you been here? I don't know. And yeah, we probably still will be here 5 years from now, because why not? And I'll be 60 and still playing video games. That may be something about what I'm going to be raging about a little bit later. And who doesn't need to rage and vent a little bit?
My mom's beyond her 60s. It still plays.
Cool.
Yeah, dude.
Cool. It's a generational thing. We're also going to be breaking down the last 3 episodes of Vox Machina. We are already at the season finale. It's already happened, which is hard to believe this quick.
Went by very quick.
And we're going to be breaking down Hogwarts Legacy. Cameron and I both have played it, different houses. And my daughter is also playing it, also a different house. The only house that's not going to be represented is Ravenclaw. So, I mean, maybe
That's
someone,
the one house I wanted to.
maybe
so.
I will tell you this. The house I wanted, I got. And we'll talk about that when we get to video games. Also, Nerd Roundtable. We have an interesting question. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out now. And I don't want anyone else in the room to answer, please. Darth Vader, is he still as menacing if you remove James Earl Jones's voice? Wait for the roundtable. We're going to talk about that.
Matthew
we're
almost
talk
did
about
it.
Wait for the roundtable because that's what it's for. That's what it's for. All right, today.
I saw his lip quiver.
Yeah, good. That means it does what it was supposed to do. Today, Borderlands Comics and Games, 410 South Pleasantburg Drive, had their annual sale, and it's the first one in the new building. And if you missed it, well, that's okay because they're having it again tomorrow. So you can go tomorrow if you missed it today. We timed it out perfectly. Cameron and I, we got there right at 9:59.
Right as everybody was
As we
walking
were
in.
walking out, the doors opened and everyone walked in. It was a pretty good crowd right away. And we were able to go in and there are a ton of sales. And you may think, well, everything got sold today. No, it didn't. It's a big place. There's a bunch of stuff. And there are some things that, didn't make it out on the floor yesterday that make it out on the floor tomorrow. So maybe you waited. Maybe your waiting will pay off for you. I was able to get something that I didn't know I wanted until I saw it, and was able to. Cameron was able to get a couple things. So I got a Shigaraki statue from My Hero Academia. I already got it up. I was able to move some of my stuff around to just have some villains together, and I also got a D&D minifig for Radio D&D, not that other thing, because I'm not calling it that. I found a half-elf paladin, which is pretty cool. And their games are on sale, including there are a bunch of Dungeons and Dragons stuff right when you get in the door. If it's all still there, we'll find out because Matthew went later. They also have everything in there is on sale. So you need to go check it out. If you didn't make it today, you can make it tomorrow. It was really good. Cameron, tell everybody what you got at Borderlands.
Okay, I got a cornucopia or a plethora of things. So I got another My Hero Academia pop. I got Jiro. I found an old Star Wars action figure of the Clone Commando, specifically Scorch from Republic Commando. It's like, I didn't even know that they made these. I'm going to take this. I also got.
He bought it.
I bought it. I didn't take it.
He wasn't going to take it because that
would
be frowned upon.
That would be illegal.
And it's our sponsor, so
Yes.
you wouldn't want to do that. So.
I was being a patron for a patron.
There you go.
It's like a circle. I also got a Edward Elric, a decent statue of Edward Elric. God bless.
Edward Elric.
Elric.
What's that from?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah,
And then
great
finally,
series.
What is he full of?
Metal.
Actually,
he's not.
He's
His brother is.
Yeah. I thought you were the Full Metal
Actually,
Alchemist.
his
That's
he's
the running
empty
joke
inside.
in the entire show. If you haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, you should definitely watch it.
What was the fourth one? Not a fourth thing. There's a very important. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also got a very cool looking Witch King of Angmar from Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
It is probably one of the it's so stylized. I can't quite.
Is he on the dragon or just
No,
like,
he's
next to
by
it?
himself.
By
but
himself?
He looks cool.
Oh, okay.
And you did you mention the pop?
Yeah, that was the
Okay.
first thing I mentioned.
Yeah, I forgot about the pop. So a couple of things. When I was going through looking for stuff for me, I also spotted a few things for Cameron. So a couple of things he got. I was like, dude, you gotta come over here. You gotta come over here. So that's the thing.
I looked at it for like a second and then just grabbed it.
Yeah. So I'm still looking for a couple things to fill out my One Piece crew, and I'm getting closer. I got an Usopp last week, so I still need Frankie. I still need Chopper, and I still need one other person. I forget who the last.
That one super fan.
No.
The guy with like
No,
the
they actually have the
saber-tooth
rooster head. They actually have him there.
His name is Rooster.
No,
Head?
that's what it's
Quick, important
Bartolomeo.
question.
Yes.
Who is your favorite Straw Hat?
The thing is, they're not. The entire crew's not done. I know Jimbei joins, and I'm on the edge of that right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Where are you at right now?
Big Mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sanji is having to be married to Pumpkin.
Yeah.
Who turns out pretty nice, at least so far. And everything in Big Mom's territory is made out of chocolate or syrup or juice, and you can eat everything. And it's okay to eat the houses as long as you don't eat the roofs. It's weird, but anyway, it's an anime. So
It's not just an anime; it's One Piece, so
Yeah,
it's extra weird.
yeah,
but that's why
so
we love it.
I'm closing in on 800, I think. So I'm getting close to catching up. So Matthew went a little bit later. How was the crowd when you went?
It was still pretty packed. I was there. I got there around 5:15, 5:30, and waited in line until about 6 o'clock. So it was still pretty packed.
Oh dang!
All things considered, don't let that deter you about going over there tomorrow. So the lines move pretty quick.
No, they do. When I say I waited for a while, that's because the line was wrapping all the way around, and they still got through it that quickly. So no, they were moving with it.
Yeah, I was going to say when I was there, Michelle was zooming through some things. So,
Mhm.
So what all did you get?
I went through a few different things of what I wanted to get to expand my manga collection a little bit, and I decided to settle on. I've been wanting to start collecting the My Hero Academia Vigilante spinoff manga, which is one of my favorite reads that I've had in a while, and so I wanted to get that collection together, and so I grabbed volumes 1 through 13, since that's all that's out right now.
All right. So if you think you missed it, you didn't, because you missed the day, but you're not missing tomorrow. So make sure you show up tomorrow. I believe it's 2 to 6, 410 South Pleasantburg Drive. Check out Borderlands Comics and Games. Trey on Facebook says he bought a welcome mat with Chunk from the Goonies telling guests to do the truffle shuffle. And then my question is for Tim, have you ever seen the Goonies?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Describe to us the
No.
truffle shuffle.
Matthew, have you seen the Goonies before?
I have, yes.
Okay, just check. Well, a lot of times these references go over your guys' heads because you haven't watched the movies. Because, some of the people who listen are a little bit older, and that's fine. If not, it would have been assigned watching, at least for Tim, because I know even with assigned watching, like say Princess Bride, he's still not going to do it.
Oh,
But
I've still yet to receive the resources to actually watch that movie.
Okay.
Why do you have to receive the resources?
Because they were offered to
Why
me.
aren't you resourceful on your own?
no,
Because they were offered to me.
here's the thing. Okay, so
Why did you offer those things?
No. Let's say
By 2 people in this room.
let's say like maybe next week, if we decided to get some food and show up here a little bit earlier and watch it here,
Yeah.
would you actually?
I would be more than happy to join you guys
All
in
right.
the movie. Yes.
We will conference during the week and probably make that happen.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So check out
That's a
Borderlands.
fun thing to say. Conference.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
man.
enjoy it. It's very managerial.
We have the best meetings ever.
Yes, we do. Except for Roger he doesn't eat well in front of people. He just, that sandwich was kind of messy though.
Yeah, those sandwiches were.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you have a big sandwich,
They
like
were a
that,
bit
it'll
drippy.
fall apart.
Yeah, they will.
But I will say, the more drippy a sandwich is, the better it tastes.
As
Just
long
saying.
as long as the bread stays intact.
Yeah.
If it's one of those where suddenly you're touching the meat, then it's probably it's
It
a little
disintegrates
yes.
because it becomes like a wet sponge.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say anything because I was at one point awkwardly looking for a napkin, like in the middle of the meeting, like, anybody got a napkin?
Yeah, and then I pointed to the paper towels,
And they were on the other side of the room.
and then everyone was looking, and the boss looked at me like, "Are you not paying attention?" I'm good. I'm just trying to help.
So thankfully, the lady sitting next to me gave me a napkin, which was really nice of her.
Well, she was sitting next to you because she didn't sit next to me, but that's all right. I don't think it's BO. I just think my presence.
It's a halo.
You do have an overbearing presence.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it's that. I think it's.
Well, I wouldn't say overbearing.
It's
but
it's an amount of personality that people just cannot figure out what to do with it. I did have we're going to get to we're going to talk a little Radio D&D, and we're going to talk about the bracket because we're going to need your help with something in the next segment. Before I get to that though, I had an awkward moment. I talked about this a little bit on the Rob Brown show. which is hosted by Rob Brown. Still don't understand how they did that. I believe it's a conference of 10. They're really smart people. They got in a room and they fought for a while. I think they had breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then breakfast again before they came up.
What was the company's name again? AIM? It
Yeah,
was like that famous think
no,
tank?
I'm not quite sure. It was actually.
I heard there was a tiger fight.
There could have been a tiger fight. I wasn't invited. This was
Was the tiger fighting against people, or the tigers fighting against tigers?
It was above my pay grade. So I was talking about this over there on the way out of wrestling, because you guys know that I have a little bit of the social anxiety. This guy, curtains. There are curtains over when you go in and out of the well, to where your seat is, to block the concourse and all that kind of stuff. I think he went to reach for the curtain, and instead he held up his fist, and I thought he wanted a fist bump. So I went to fist bump him, and he looked at me, so I missed. Then he felt obligated to give me a fist bump, missed again. Then finally we connected. Then it was so awkward that we had to have conversation. And so the conversation ended up being about Ohio State and Georgia. And it was kind of a mumble thing, and then we went our separate ways. This is why I don't do that stuff, okay? If you want to come up and you want to get a picture, that's awesome. If you want to come up and say, hey, that's fine. But the fist bumps and the hugs and all that kind of stuff, it's not going to go well. This nerd thing that I'm doing right now, it's reality. That's who I am.
Here's what we do. We have a social etiquette course.
It ain't gonna matter.
Social etiquette course.
You cannot get rid of the awkward. If you're awkward, it's going to show up in the weirdest time.
We shall teach you to be a proper and functioning member of society.
No, here's the thing. I could fake it and be someone I'm not. I absolutely could. But I'm not going to. I'm not, because I feel
most people encourage.
No, because in my heart, my mind, my soul, I know I'm not being genuine, and I can't do that.
I don't have that problem.
You are Shy Ronnie.
Yes, I am. I'm Shy Ronnie with a louder voice. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we are going to talk a little bit of Radio D&D, and we're going to talk about the bracket, because I have 50 video games. All right, it's 49.
You're 49.
All right, which is why this time I'm getting some help, not only from the guys in the room, but from you, the listeners. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD, continuing live on Facebook and Twitch and Twitter and YouTube. If you don't know how to get there, pigeon me and I'll help you. I gotta say, I hope Pigeon Me doesn't have some Urban Dictionary meaning that I don't know about, because you never know.
I hope not either.
Not that I'm aware of.
These
but
kids
who knows?
these days.
Just pigeoning. Well, never mind.
Someone look it up on Cameron. Look it up on Urban Dictionary for me.
I need to shut up.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I'm
the boomer way
to
say
Tim.
because I might need to apologize. Yeah, I might need to say I'm sorry.
That is pretty dope.
Oh yeah, Matthew.
Nice.
All right. Now, time to look up Urban Dictionary.
Oh no, nothing can ever go good from that.
So how's everybody doing tonight? We're doing quite well. The night before my favorite team, Kansas City Chiefs, play in a big game tomorrow, like the game, and I'm starting to get a little nervous. I get more nervous before the game. If they lose, I'm not going to be that let me break my TV guy, because those people are stupid. And you know, I'll be like, oh man, we lost.
Gosh, that is not what I expected.
What does it have a meaning?
It does, but it's not dirty.
Okay,
that's good news.
Just save it.
Okay.
Save it, and we'll read it on the air.
Well, what I'm saying, and then right underneath.
Exactly, Viper Dave.
Right underneath it.
I like my definition.
You don't need to talk about that part.
Yeah, I don't think I do.
You don't need to talk about that part. Oh, that's cool, Tones. Hopefully it's cheaper than like the Lego store in the mall, because that place is, you walk in and you're afraid to touch anything.
Oh my god! Yeah,
Yeah,
my son loves
it's
going there.
No, don't touch anything. Do not touch anything.
Yeah,
Like
my son loves going in there, and every time I'm like that, like, you don't touch it, because then we'll have to buy it.
Yeah,
I ain't buying nothing in the store.
I don't make that much in a week to cover like the cheapest
Well, how
thing
am I
in here.
supposed to get Legos like normal kids?
Yeah, like
at the
Legos
thrift
are not a toy
store.
you pay for. They're
yeah,
a
we'll buy you
collector's
10 at a time. Build something. Show how creative you are.
Hey, he's got a nice collection now. He's got a bunch of them, man. He's got a whole bucket full now.
You gotta love things that come in a bucket full.
Hey, give me mine also, please.
It's just the pieces that he's acquired over
Thank
the
you.
years.
You are a scholar.
Well, also, gentlemen.
We'll see.
To be determined.
Well, let's see.
It depends on what that meaning is.
He's actually gotten really good at Legos. I
Look,
never got into
just
Legos.
because one describes something
I
of
still
some
have
obscene
my,
nature, doesn't
my-
mean-
Boxes of Legos.
Yeah, my 4-year-old
Right.
granddaughter is really into Legos, but it's the big ones.
Well,
I
$20
love
cars.
Bionicles.
Ah,
I made this
dude,
monstrous death
Bionicles.
machine.
Let's go,
Dude,
Bionicles.
my wife.
Matthew, I had
we went
combined
to a
like
birthday
20 of
party
them
this
together,
morning, and she
created
made the
something about like
coolest
this
Dragon
big.
Ball Z cup
Oh, God,
I
why
think
would
I've
you do
ever
that?
seen in my life.
Because
I was so jealous.
I
that
am
wanted-
inspired to make horrific
I was like,
creations.
you gotta make me one now.
Like it had like the legs of a
There's a kid that
spider,
went,
and like
he wanted.
I built
there's
it
a
up
kid's
to like
birthday,
3
he wanted a
torsos like
Dragon Ball Z
matched
cup.
together,
He was like, I'll just make
like
him one.
massive
Made 'em.
arms,
I mean, this
one
was
tiny
baller,
little
dude.
head.
I was like,
why are you upset
Just
about
'cause I
that?
thought
because I want one.
Yeah, because your wife's got scales. You shouldn't. I mean,
She won't make me one.
Well, what you do is you say you're going to give it.
I'm gonna see if she'll send me
No,
a
no,
picture of it. I'm gonna put it on the Facebook. So
No,
guys
you
can
say
see
you're
it.
going to give one of us the gift of Dragon Ball Z because me and him big time DBZ fans, and then I'll gift it back.
There you go. That might work.
I'm sure she's not watching. She has no idea what we just.
She's definitely not watching. She's getting us ready to move.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. You know, the cool part and the bad part about streaming on all these things, there are some things that we can't play on the stream, but we can play on the radio, including some clips that we come back to, like Billy and Mandy. So if you're watching the stream and going, what are they doing? As me and Cameron and Tim are all mouthing.
You know,
what
I
is-
didn't realize that
Yeah.
until you just mentioned that. I was like, oh crap, that's right. They can't hear
Yeah,
any
they-
of this.
they
I
can't hear
know.
it, so-
I think about it every single time too.
So it looks really weird, but that's fine. You know, it's just one of those things. Getting
What are they
flagged,
mouthing to us?
getting flagged and put in Facebook jail is it's
Are they-
not a good thing.
what are they
Are
spazzing
they
out
calling for
about?
help?
All right, dude. All right, I'm trying to think. Do I let it go or not? Because you know what you did.
Let what go?
You know what you
You
did.
know what you did.
Let what
You
go?
did-
Nothing
you know
happened.
what you know what you did.
I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
know exactly what you did. It's all right. It's all right because you're also trying to get your dinner going. So I get it.
Yeah, I'm eating.
So Rob and I on the Rob Brown show, we also have a contest of how many times we forget to turn our mic on. Trust me, it happens all week. I had a really bad week. I think I have 5, which is like an average of 1 a day.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
not good. That's not good.
I tried to save you. I did. I tried.
Yeah, it's
tried.
It's just, but you know, I kind of have listening is my
Now
job.
because I've been
If you were
noobed-
watching on stream, you would see my head go like this because that's what I did. Like, wait a minute.
Now because I've been noobed so many times, I try to protect people from getting noobed now.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. You should enjoy the pain of others.
Exactly.
Forget about you
You
because
think I'm gonna feel concerned for you when I'm shooting you with Nerf darts? No,
no.
I'm
And,
gonna feel joy.
And
There
he's
is no
elated.
empathy,
Yeah, but
only
that's-
apathy.
That's fun though.
and if any of us get noobed today, other than Matthew, he's going to take pleasure knowing he wasn't alone.
So the
Exactly.
word of the day
So
is
don't-
sadism, kids.
So don't worry about it. I think we know that Tim averages 1 per show. So there's a good chance
Yeah.
It's more like 1.2 per show.
yeah, because some he gets away with like right before the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
And I let that go. But anyway, all right.
Yeah.
So before we went to break, we talked about it was pigeoning, right?
Yes, pigeoning.
Pigeoning. And I said, someone needs to look that up on Urban Dictionary.
All right.
And
I liked my definition though.
I'm concerned about
The boomer way to say tweet.
Yeah, except for I don't know any boomers. Well, maybe I do. There's a couple of older people who work in the building and no, I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X, baby. Yeah. Go ahead, Cameron.
All right. So this one got submitted in like 2020. There are other ones, but this is the one that was first.
It's clean, is what you're saying?
It's clean.
Yeah, okay.
It's clean and I'll just go ahead and say it. Tracking someone's life and their career, academic and intellectual pursuits in order to copy them or seize them.
Ah,
That
So
is
it's
the
like-
most.
Oh,
it's single white female. I know you guys probably haven't seen that, but it's single white female.
What?
Single White Female was a movie with I think it was Jennifer Jason Leigh, and she became a roommate. There's been other things similar to this
It
with
is
someone.
very stalkerish.
So
to,
so
like,
she became a roommate with someone, and then she started cutting her hair like her, and then she started wearing her clothes, and then she killed her boyfriend, and some stuff like that. So
that escalated
so she
quickly.
wanted to be her so much that she became her. So that's what I think.
Yeah,
that
that's
is.
exactly what this
yeah.
is getting at.
Okay, so don't do that, kids. That's
There's
not a good
also
thing.
another slang meaning of one who is easily swindled or a dupe.
What? All right, let's move on. Last week we played Radio Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not calling it what Rob Brown calls it. If you did not see it, it is on our Facebook page at least. YouTube.
Otherwise known as the life and trauma of Garrick.
Yes. We had a great time. and I will say when it was over, there was a lot of we're good, right? We're good between Matthew
yeah.
and I.
For the next few days, I kept having people come up to me when I was walking between the office and the news booth. Hey, you and Lons are okay, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, that was all in character.
So if you've never watched someone play Dungeons and Dragons or you never played it, the fun part about it is getting into it to the point where you are the character and you're acting out as that character
Yeah.
and how that character would react to certain things.
And I have to say, my hat was off to you. sir.
Yes, Matthew
Thank
and
you.
I were at odds for the majority of the night, and will be again, I'm sure, when we continue.
we'll see how it plays out. I don't want to commit to anything.
Yeah.
I want it
I mean,
to
we
evolve
might
naturally.
we might be best bros, even though he is a vegan orc before the thing's over. But chances are, I mean, I don't know. See, the thing is, just like in life, and you see movies and you see cartoons and you see people playing Dungeons and Dragons, they put 4 people together and they're all good and they're friends. Oh, we all drink, okay. Which I don't drink in real life, or my character doesn't in the thing, and there's a reason why we'll get to maybe eventually. But people just don't automatically get along. I think to become a team, you've got to learn something about each other, learn the bad things and the good things. And that's part about being immersive and being into your character to the degree where you lose yourself and you're just in there basically acting out a play, a movie, whatever.
Well, to be fair, your guys' characters now have something to bond over the act of which you committed.
Well, there's that. There's
Yay.
that.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying to figure out the game before I can start acting.
Yeah, and the other thing is, as far as experience goes, I have the second least experience. But I've watched some things, and I have my sponsor next to me to help me whenever I have a problem.
More like the sponsor is trying to save everyone from
Well-
all in slaying
there's
everyone.
that. My guy has a problem. But anyway, and we have a 5th character with us that none of us believe is a girl.
No.
We don't believe that's a little
No
girl.
way.
That is not a little girl. By the way, Matthew, my theory
Yeah.
is that Chris is actually a dragon.
Or
That's
the
my
final
theory.
boss.
I don't think
That's-
I followed that theory,
that's my
but I
theory.
definitely agreed that he's not a little girl.
So what do you think he is?
I don't know, but definitely not a little girl.
I think he's
I
a
think-
changeling.
I think he's
I
the
wouldn't
final
be surprised
boss.
to be for her to be a changeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See, Tim and I think he's a dragon and he's the final boss.
Yeah, he's the final boss.
And
no, I don't think that in any way.
We're
shape,
to
or form.
fight Chris.
That's not how D&D works.
Wouldn't
There
that be-
isn't a final boss.
that would be
necessarily.
well for the
It
campaign.
can be sometimes,
for the
but
for
not.
the campaign.
It's not like a video game.
You don't think that would be kind of cool though? It would be. I
don't.
I
really
think it
wanna
would
see
be
that.
awesome.
I
I don't know why. I just imagine like he transforms and puts like tiny little glasses on.
got to be honest. I
What
want to
if-
fight. I want
what
to
if-
fight Chris the dragon. I do.
What if she
I
is
just
the
want to.
dragon we've been looking for?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. We're gonna find out. By the way, we're gonna continue playing eventually. That's all I can say.
Eventually. That's normally how our scheduling
Yeah,
works.
it's eventually.
It'll happen sometime.
Rob has 35 jobs, and I think he's working on getting another one. So
Only
I mean,
got 35
Yeah,
jobs.
so there's that. All right. So in 2 weeks, the last Saturday, I don't know the exact date, but it's the last Saturday in February, we are going to talk and some things when I learn how to talk. We are going to do the Upstate Pulse bracket. Now, Every year we do a pop culture bracket. This year we've decided video games. I have a list of 49 since I put Final Fantasy on there twice.
Which I called him out on.
Yeah, no, it's not really calling me out on it. I'm glad you noticed it.
Yeah, no, of
You
course.
know what
Peer
that,
review.
I'm just joking with you, man.
you know what that also means is maybe I put it on there twice just to see if anyone actually read it. I didn't, but I can pull that off and say that I did. So I'm gonna read some of the games that we have. All right, I'm gonna read all 50. And what I want you guys to do, or what I hope you guys will do, I've already told the guys in the room if they have some to add, which they say they do, to write them down, hand in their sheets at the end of the show. And yeah, Matthew's got a full-on list. But we need, if you don't hear it on the list, I need 64. I got 50. Text us at 71307 or let us know on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter what I haven't added to the list. And this is before I put the bracket together, which is fun. That's the word I'm going to use. Viper says Pong. It is the original game. Do you got to put the original video game on the list? Do you have to do that? So we're probably going to have a play-in game next week with some of the ones that didn't make the 64 that will narrow down for the last two spots.
An honorable mention kind of thing?
No.
Oh, no.
What we're going to do is
okay.
we'll have 62 for sure. Then there'll be 2 spots left, which is what happens in the basketball tournament. There's a play-in games to get in those last 2 spots. All right. So Pong, what do you guys think? I think it's the original video game.
I think it should be on there.
It's the
I don't
original.
think it would last whatsoever.
But it's still the original, man.
I mean, we still gotta give it its credit.
The original.
I think it's worth putting in the playoff.
In the play-in. Okay, all right. So we'll take that under consideration, Viper. All right. So
can we add more?
We're gonna add
okay. All right.
That's what we're doing here.
This is what we're doing.
That's part of the thing that we're doing here.
All right. Yeah.
Thank you for participating.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm gonna video games that are on this list are some of them are franchises. So if your favorite, like Diablo, which is number 1, which does not mean it's number 1. It's just the first thing that I put on the list.
Zelda is also.
There's been a bunch of Diablos. There's been a bunch of Zeldas. There's been a bunch of Marios. Yes, I know. I forgot to put it on there, and I thought I did. There have been a bunch of Donkey Kongs. There's been a bunch of like Far Cries and Final Fantasies and all these things. So it's whatever your favorite one is. So here is the list of 49 so far. Diablo, Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls. And with Elder Scrolls, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and online and all that stuff. Far Cry, Fallout, Final Fantasy, Call of Duty, Warcraft. When I say Warcraft, I mean World of or Warcraft 1, 2, or 3. So if you like any of those, StarCraft, Castlevania, Tetris, and you may say, you don't want to put Pong in there, but you have Tetris on there. The thing is with Tetris is the number 1 selling video game of all time, and it's not even close.
It's also been evolving.
So many remakes of it in different evolutions of it that I think.
Yeah,
I think
does anybody remember Dr. Mario? Dr. Mario was like Tetris. It was awesome.
Well, it probably had a Tetris game on it, but Tetris is the original of it.
Well, yeah.
No, Dr. Mario was
he was
a
just
version
saying
of Tetris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Pac-Man, and like in Pac-Man, that includes Pac-Man World, Mrs. Pac-Man, all those Pac-Mans, Pokemon. And yes, there are a ton of Pokemon. So maybe there's one that's your favorite.
The endless void of Pokemon.
Yes.
Games.
So that's in there. Grand Theft Auto, there's been 5 or 6 of them?
Yeah, there's 6.
The Sims, ton of those. Batman. So when I say Batman, I mean any iteration of Batman, including, from Gotham Knights to any of the really good ones. That
I imagine most of the big ones that people would think and go to would probably be the Arkham series.
Yes,
absolutely.
Arkham series. Spider-Man can be any of the Spider-Man games. There's only been one that's really good. Although I hear Miles Morales is pretty good too.
I grew up playing Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube, and let me say, I love Spider-Man 2 on the GameCube.
There you go. All right, Witcher. There's been 3 of
Web
those.
of Shadows is also very good, by the way. Underrated title.
Yeah, it's been 3 of those. We also are going to have some online games on here, including Overwatch, Fortnite, PUBG. Halo is on the list. Sonic, so any kind of Sonic. Minecraft is on here, even though I don't want it to be, but it's on here. Because I don't like the block art. I just don't. I mean, it just but
to block.
A ton of people do. Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 is on here because it's also one of the better selling games of all time. God of War. So any of the God of Wars. Borderlands. Zelda. So any of the Zelda games. Donkey Kong, Metroid, Fable, Star
Fable
Wars.
is awesome.
Star Wars. So any Star Wars games, from Lego to Knights of the Old Republic to SWTOR. I mean, any Star Wars game that you like. Tom Clancy, and that includes like Splinter Cell and what's the one that we play a bunch?
Wildlands.
So anything like that.
Rainbow Six.
Yeah,
Rainbow
stuff
Six.
like that. So Tom Clancy has a bunch of those. Ninja Turtles. So anything Ninja Turtles. Been a ton of Ninja Turtles
I'm
games.
gonna be honest. I can't really think of any like super good Ninja Turtles.
The
games.
arcade Ninja Turtles.
Well,
Remember
we're
those?
Oh,
more-
there is the arcade Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, but which has been brought on to
it was on Super Nintendo
Yeah.
and regular Nintendo.
all right, Dark Souls. Now, when I say Dark Souls, I'm gonna include Elden Ring and Dark Souls. So
what about Sekiro? Are you gonna include that in that all-encompassing FromSoft, or is it different enough to where
I think anything that's a Dark Soul like game, which if you played a Dark Soul like game, you know what it is.
So basically anything from FromSoft.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Souls-like has become an actual genre, so we should probably specify.
Yeah. Uncharted, any of the Uncharted, which are really good games. I got those just to help a host along, and then I passed him up and beat the game 3 times before he even beat it once. Not even sure if he beat it. The Last of Us is on here. We had a conversation before about Guitar Hero and Rock Band, but they are 2 different games. Guitar Hero, all you could do was guitar. Rock Band, you could play every instrument. And I will tell you that every Christmas we play Rock Band for hours still, even now. And I've got a couple hundred songs. Every Christmas is also a tradition at our house. We add a song. We each add a song. So it grows. There's like a hard drive full of nothing but songs. And we also have guitars, microphones. I have a keytar that actually works, and drums. So the next thing is Half-Life, which is big time on computer. And the first multiplayer game I ever played was Half-Life. I was at a friend of my wife's house, and they had a bunch of computer stations set up to play Half-Life. And it was fun. Age of Empire, which, by the way, they just added it to console. Age of Empires. I'm sorry. Don't look at me
Which
because
one
I
did they add?
which was the 3 that they just added to.
They added 2.
It was 2. They
Definitive
added 2
edition or the original?
Definitive.
on
Nice.
Game Pass. Destiny, Doom. Someone just mentioned that on the stream. Baldur's Gate, Battlefield, Resident Evil, Dungeon Siege, Command and Conquer, BioShock, Dragon Age. All right, those are some. All right, on YouTube, Mark says Kingdom Hearts. That needs to be on here.
Yeah,
And
Kingdom Hearts.
Yep,
So
definitely
someone
Kingdom
needs
Hearts.
to write that down. or
I would have
I'll-
if I had a
already did.
pen.
All right, Doom is already on there. Viper said Doom, but he
Mortal
also said
Kombat.
Mortal.
There is a severe lack of fighting games
Yes.
on here.
We need
So
Spyro.
Tekken or Soul Calibur would also work
Tekken,
too.
Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
You need Spyro. Spyro the Dragon.
By
That's on
the
my
way, Scott
list.
says, Lonzo, since you said sales would be a criteria for your brackets, you have to include Minecraft since it is now the #1 selling game of all time with sales of 3 billion. Also consider a Master of Orion and XCOM.
XCOM is definitely.
By the way,
overrated.
Minecraft is on here. I just said that I don't like the art style,
Yeah,
but it's definitely
Minecraft.
on here.
Ugh.
And I didn't know Minecraft had passed up Tetris. Doesn't matter though. Both those games have sold like billions of dollars worth of games. So, and Viper says Gran Turismo. You know, I've kind of stayed away from the racing games, but we can add those in too.
Yeah,
so
there's some racing and simulation.
Yeah, Gran
games.
Turismo's a big one.
It's hard for me to kind of say because it's not just my thing. It's
well,
really
if
not
you're
my
going to
thing,
add
so I
Gran
can't really
Turismo, then you
judge.
got to add Forza. I mean,
or
they're-
Need for Speed.
Yeah, I mean they're so the thing is with these brackets, somebody or multiple somebodies or a whole lot of somebodies are going to be mad because their game didn't make the list and didn't make the bracket. No way you can include everything. People are mad almost every time. All right, we need to take a break because we're running behind. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD, continuing live on all of our streaming channels. Thank you, Tim. You should. I know we got 2 breaks. I get it. Come back for a minute or 2. Come back. Okay. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for doing your job, Tim.
26 and a half, 27.
The bracket was going to be by console,
Mine takes up more.
but there were complaints in the room, and I've decided to
I
just
counted
throw them
only
all
the
in there
Brussels
together.
thing,
Yeah,
so I
so-
figured that we were counting
there will be
that
some
'cause
number
it's-
one
Well, that was
seeds.
before.
I'm not going to tell you
Yeah.
what my number 1 seeds are. I picked the number 1 seeds. I gave an opportunity
So,
for us all to pick
the other
one,
thing is, like,
but
coaching
because we're
Mass Effect
vindictive and we're competitive and a bunch of stuff like that, I decided not to do that.
let's go,
True
fellow
gamers
Divinity
in this
Original
room,
Sin.
okay?
Let's go.
Because admittedly, if I know
Voice
what Tim's
simulators.
number 1 game is and it's not mine, I'm
No,
going to try to
I'm
get
aware.
it taken out.
You don't really play RTS.
And I don't want to do that. I'll leave that
Nike
to
RTS
the
right
listeners
now.
to do
It's
that.
weird.
Yeah.
I figured that you would be.
You would think, and a lot of my friends are, but it's not my thing. I don't like thinking
I'm
ahead
trying to
like
think
that.
of more
I like
games.
just
Is-
kind of.
what did I say? I had more
chilling, vibing
ideas.
with
now
it.
they all
When I'm
went
gonna
away.
think
Matthew's
ahead
already
like
written
that.
down like 20, dude.
could chill
32
vibe and-
specifically.
So-
Spyro- I said
Um,
Spyro.
Was it
Well,
22?
vibe-
I knew it was in the 20s.
Crash Bandicoot. I don't know if anybody put that in.
Well, you need to
That
write some of
wasn't
this
in the
down.
20s, it
Don't
was
have
in
a
the 30s.
pen.
You can find a pen somewhere in this
There's no
building.
more pens in this room.
Go in the newsroom. Go in the news booth.
By the way, are we continuing this when we get back on the air, or should we mention some of the other stuff? Things.
Oh, you did
What else
put
is
Battlefield
there?
on there.
This is all there is. This is our life now.
Well, for the next couple months. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
Where did I put my? Oh, there's the.
Do you know who I am?
I feel like out of anybody in this room, I know more of who you are than anyone.
I appreciate your concern. I got this.
I believe.
I was,
Probably hit
I was mainly
text
asking
line.
is because do we talk about this now or talk about it on the air?
Oh,
Well, we'll talk
That's
about it on
all
the
I was-
air.
no, we continue the conversation here.
Yeah, I was just
But
asking
keep the good
this-
stuff for, I mean, no, suddenly this is a stream exclusive. What would you like to talk about?
Somehow you did not put Mass Effect on there.
Write it down.
I did.
Okay.
You
Because there's no way.
I'm
Somebody
just
at
really
the-
surprised that you didn't put it on there.
What?
Is there
I didn't
something
write it down
going-
in my
something
list.
going on in the fan right now?
Why?
I thought about
There's
it
a lot
while
of
we were
text for the
talking,
fan.
and then I never
What's
wrote
it
it
saying?
down.
One says listening to the General and Mark show reminds me of the 610 days.
All right. He must be, Mark does nationals sometimes. He must be doing the national show. So they're hearing him on there. Good for him. Chris says best horror game ever, Gabriel Knight Beast Within. And see, and I only have like one horror game on there, and that's Resident Evil. I don't know. You can ask him. You have a
I don't do
microphone.
horror
Last
games,
of
so
Us
I don't
is
have
also
any
a
on my
horror game.
list, 'cause I don't have any understanding of them to know what's worthwhile putting on.
got two on there.
Okay.
Horror is not your bailiwick.
No, I'm not sure.
And
I don't like being
Visage.
scared.
Visage is really
Not
good.
my thing.
Does it make a lot of money? Is it
I
really
don't
popular?
know.
Do a lot of people play it?
I don't know, but it was a really good horror game.
Because one
You had
thing
the same
about
thought of
one
where
thing
you
about
get
the
the hammer.
majority of the games on this list, a lot of people have
No,
played
I
them.
didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, that's why I,
I was
said
just making a
Spyro
joke
and
of
Crash.
I just thought the same
Agreed.
thing I did.
But if
Where
you
did
don't
he
write
get
it
the
down,
hammer?
ask Cameron to write it down on his sheet.
Wait, can you write down
What?
Spyro and Crash Bandicoot for me?
I have all those. I have both of those down already.
Overachiever.
Oh, I forgot to write Jack.
We're coming back.
I sometimes wonder if I'm the only one who thinks some things are funny. I know Cameron does, and these guys haven't seen the movie, so that's fine. I will tell you that we are taking all of your submissions, put them on there. Viper just said Golden Axe, so we're trying to get as many games in as we possibly can. We will filter through. We will pick. I will pick 62 that are going through, and then we will pick a list from all the extras that we will start next week, whittle those down to 2, and those will go into the bracket. So
Kid Icarus.
So keep throwing your list. See, the thing is, what you also need to keep in mind and on the list, and these are games that a lot of people played. And that's what you get, not some obscure game that you and like 5 other people played. We need games that a ton of people played, to the point where if you mention the game's name, people know it even if they didn't play it. By the way, I know that game. That wasn't like that's what I'm letting you know. So people are throwing some obscure things out there because
Was
it's
that
one of their
obscure?
favorite games. Kid Icarus.
No, but it's one of the more obscure Nintendo
Oh, okay.
properties. It's popular enough, but not enough to make it on this compared to some other things, I think.
All
Well,
right.
I didn't know. I just remember playing it as a kid.
Right. So that's the thing. You're getting in your mind. What about this game? What about this game? What about this game? Also,
Well, it would not make it on just from the old NES
Well, I
game.
didn't know.
Definitely
Maybe it
not.
was popular
But
when
the,
it
the
when
3DS
it came out.
yeah.
Uprising
Tone says
definitely
Metroid.
was a
Metroid
fantastic
is
game.
on the list already.
The
So,
game is definitely older than me.
well, there are a lot of games on here that are older
Yeah.
than you.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, in your submissions on Facebook and Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and on text, I won't get to the text line in a second. We are looking at all of them. So we're going to try to add all of them. We will winnow, whatever you do.
What about
We're going to cut it.
was Punch Out? Was that one popular?
Yes.
Yep.
Punch Out. There you
Especially Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
go. Yeah.
All right.
Dude.
We're going to take our final break of the hour, come back, close it out, and tell you what's coming up. You listen to
Hey, we're
the
leaving
Upstate
already?
Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD, continuing live on all of social media.
Our second segment was over, so yeah, we're going out.
I just wanted to make a joke.
Oh,
We're closing out the hour. We're not closing out the show.
No, that was the joke. Was we're going to break already.
Yes.
That was a joke.
No, hey, Tone,
You guys got it right.
I'm staying, and this is why I didn't add the car stuff, and I'm still thinking about not adding the car stuff.
Let's try 5.
No, I was staying away from sports games, because as far as that goes, it's Madden and FIFA. That's it.
Wow.
I mean, that's it.
Sports game.
It's Madden and FIFA.
Sport ball.
You can discount it all you want, Matthew, but a lot of people play those games.
Oh no, they do. They just don't.
No,
they're-
they don't issue.
They're
which is
fun
fine.
and they're fun. They're sports simulation games.
I'll tell you
But they
my
don't.
favorite.
Very rarely do they ever go above and beyond to warrant being on a best games of all time list.
My favorite sports
Some people
simulation
would
game
beg to differ, but I don't want to put
is
sports
definitely
games on.
Tiger Woods. I love playing Tiger Woods games.
See, that's the other thing. You put in golf games. I'm trying to. I'm going to say right now, the racing games are not going to make it in because I don't want sports games in there because we have too many other games. I got to cut something out. And
I was
To-
just saying.
to me, there are only two really the big time sports games. Like I said, it's FIFA and it's Madden.
Yep.
Whether you like
early
Madden or
ones.
not, it's played competitively, and there are some really good players at that. And same with FIFA.
Well, what about shooters? I mean, shooters are competitive.
No, but that's not the same thing.
It's not-
Although shooter games are actually, killing people. The real life thing does happen, but it's not a game. So, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Tecmo Bowl, Alan, but it's not gonna make it. We can't do sports games. You know the other reason why we can't do sports games? Because only me and Cameron will have played sports games,
That's not true.
except for Tiger Woods. How many times you play Madden?
I used to play 2K all the time,
Okay, all right.
and I played Madden.
All right. Let me say again. I play to the audience. I also play to the room, and so for the most part, I'm going to add some.
There's a void of experience to my left.
I'm going to add some horror games in there because I played some, but I know
Played a
Tim
lot of
has played a
Mario
bunch.
sports games,
So
The
which are
problem is with
unironically
horror games,
really
they just-
good.
They're not as popular.
I don't
They're
know.
actually
Resident
fun.
Evil is pretty popular,
Resident Evil and Last of Us are popular.
and
but
so is
Yeah,
what's
Mario
what's the
Strikers
thing
is
I'm
so good.
forgetting?
You
There's
literally
one big
Silent
they
Hill.
just
Silent
said,
Hill.
what
Yeah.
if we
Silent
put
Hill.
wrestling.
we
in,
could do
in
Silent Hill.
soccer?
That one was really popular when it came out.
So you just tackle people.
I was about to say I've really only just played sports games. Just to,
I get it, Viper. See, that's the whole thing. People are going to get mad about something I do on this because I cannot make everybody happy. So no sports games. It's just as the short guy played by Nick Nolte on Mandalorian season 1 said, I have spoken. I mean, that's all I can do.
I love that guy
That's
too.
all I
watch out for
do.
Jason
I've
Sudeikis
spoken.
on a speeder bike.
Yeah, you're right, Viper. People get mad on the internet. That never happens.
Impossible.
Welcome to the Upstate Pulse Flame War.
And if you wonder why I have a Warhammer in my hand, because it can. That's why. Doesn't have the same feel on it with my Batman ring on. Yes, I have a Batman ring. Judge all you want. Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse, final segment of the first hour. Talk a lot of video games because, and if you're not a gamer, the next month or so, you're not going to like part of the show because we are going to do our video game bracket. By the way, we're getting plenty of submissions. One thing we've neglected to do, I don't know if we have any text at all. Text line is 71307. Tim, once again, has decided to not wear his glasses. So please send in lengthy texts that break up and go, I'd say probably 5-6 sentences long.
With misspellings as much as possible.
With misspelled words. I mean, something
capitalize weird segments of the words.
Yeah, pretend like a Cam Newton writing a Twitter post and add like a bunch of consonants. No vowels, just a bunch of consonants.
Or like the SpongeBob meme.
Yeah, Tim, what we got?
Well, I could tell everybody just loves Tim so much, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here.
Tim, you're a lot of love in the room, man.
I know.
We could do a group hug during the break.
No, we ain't doing that.
All right. So Texas writes, guys, a heads up for the inaugural MythicCon. West Tabletop Game Convention is in Asheville, March 10th through the 12th. This will be the first year under our new name, as the previous name of Mace West was, I'm sorry,
he's doing his best, guys. He's doing his best.
Has been retired following the untimely loss of founder and organizer Jeff Smith from cancer last year. I invite everyone to come and spend a weekend in playing your favorite tabletop RPGs and board games, or maybe try some new ones from Scott.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool, Scott. Sorry about your loss, and it sounds like a good time for anybody who likes to play tabletop.
Right. And we only have one more, and it's in reference to the Darth Vader comment you made earlier. And that was what I'm assuming they mean. What if Darth Vader sounded like Mike Tyson?
Exactly. And by the way, save your comments. You can send them in.
The dark side.
Where are those plans?
The dark side.
The number one question in the Nerd Roundtable, which will happen in the next hour, will be if Darth Vader did not have James Earl Jones' voice, would he still be as menacing? And some people have mentioned the fact that if you watch, there is video out there of David Prowse's voice before they overdubbed with James Earl Jones. Totally different Darth Vader.
Texter also wrote in a game suggestion, and that was Little Big World.
I don't know Little Big World.
Yeah, it's these little beanbag guys.
Yeah, it's a sock puppets.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay.
Guys.
I think it is pretty popular.
It's not huge.
It's not huge, but it's not
it
like
was larger in the past, but there hasn't been anything recently.
Yeah.
So it's kind of out of the public conscious.
All right. Hour number 2, we're going to be talking some Vox Machina. AMC is doing something that might make everyone mad. And Tim, he's in the band, man. We're going to talk about that a little bit. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD, continuing live through the top of the hour news on all of our social media.
Look at that. On time this time.
To quote a scruffy nerf herder, don't get cocky, kid.
I know. No, I'm just happy for myself.
Something I said to another producer earlier this week. Am I supposed to pat you on the back for doing your job?
No,
I mean, good for you. I'm happy for all of us. I am.
No, I mean, I wasn't doing
I am not nearly as mean as I sound. At least I don't think so. It could be.
My father has a penchant for positive affirmations.
My list is now up to 36.
How many of those do you think is actually?
I think any of them have a worthwhile shot.
Yeah, but if you do like another 64, that's a problem. I just want you to know that.
Oh yeah,
that becomes.
He's not going to read through. He's going to go like.
No, I'll read through them, but I mean, let me ask you.
There's a few that you absolutely.
All right, let me ask.
Need to go on
star the ones that you absolutely, every part of your being is behind. And don't say it's all 30 something.
No, it's not.
Okay.
He doesn't have that many darlings. I'm sure he has a few.
Lisa says that Tim needs readers at work. It wouldn't help because the screens are too far away for readers.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, thanks for all the participation. I'm going to do my best on this. Probably the most angry in the entire thing over the next 5 weeks is going to be Matthew, and there's no way I can fix that. It's just going to happen.
Hey, as long as we can get some good tirades on the air.
From what I can tell, Matthew's fandom, as far as video games goes, is very specific. And the fact that I didn't have that many on this list.
I believe you've besmirched.
All right, Chris,
fandom.
that's a good idea, but I think he lost them again. I'm talking about glasses. I'm talking to stream, yo. And he always says his kids lose them. You know what I could do? I could let him try to use mine because I left my case in the car and I have my glasses right here, which I need to read small print. I can like this. I don't know if you can see this. I mean, it's in font 14, so that's the font I use. That's the most comfortable for my eyes is font 14. I can go 13, 5, 12 way too. Yeah, Chris, that's what you do. When you got kids, you blame them. I know I did that for a lot. You don't need to worry about saying the dog ate my homework. It's the kids lost them. In a lot of cases, if you have multiple children, like let's say Tim, there's a good shot the kids did lose something.
You have multiple children.
Right.
Yeah.
I was, we're still talking about your glasses.
Well, because it was always my sister, and then I get blamed.
Because it was suggested that you bring them here and leave them here. And I said,
well,
he
if I
would
did
if he
that-
could find them.
Well, I do work at home. They're out. They're honestly, they're sitting on my home studio desk.
There you go. At least he knows where they are.
Because at the end of the day, I take them off and I just leave them there.
No, Tones, he can't get LASIK because he'd miss work.
What is that?
That's a good manager.
What's LASIK?
It's surgery on your eyes so you can see better.
I know
it's
my eyes
laser
aren't that
correction.
bad. The reason my eyes are bad is because I look at computer screens all day.
No, it's because he squints.
The blue light.
By the
You
way,
know
Dad,
what? Twisted Todd had some glasses on yesterday. Like, dude, I've never seen you wear glasses. And it's the computer glasses to phase
Filter in
out
blue
the
light.
blue.
Yeah,
the blue
I
light.
have the blue light.
He
thing.
says it helps a great deal.
It does. I can see a lot better when I have those on.
I was going to say, Dad, I want to thank you for teaching me what scapegoating means from an early age, so I know what to look forward to in life.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you got to
Everyone
do.
tries to scapegoat you.
Well, it's usually because I'm the scapegoat. That's how you know if you're the it was his fault. Oh, he did it.
Can you tell the genre that I have bias towards?
Nintendo for one thing.
That's not a genre.
Okay. Well, whatever.
That's a company.
It's a genre to me. It's a genre for
Nintendo.
children. It's a genre for children.
Right. A little bit of RPGs.
A little bit some
I love
RPGs. Throw a
RPGs.
J in front of there.
Chris says Tim needs glasses on a chain. Absolutely. It's gotta be like an
Like those
old timey
jamming
chain, like
RPGs,
maybe
right?
Bedazzled or
That's what it
something.
is. Jamming RPGs.
You know, it's not
'Cause
a
they
bad
are
idea. I
jamming.
could
Do
always
some-
hook 'em to my
That's
lanyard.
true.
Do some
I always
spark.
have that one.
Yeah, Tim walks around with a lanyard on, like he's the press or something,
Yeah.
or like he's a roadie.
No, it's a gamer lanyard. actually.
No, it's a roadie. It's a roadie
Gamer,
lanyard.
see?
What in the world is a gamer lanyard?
It's what he's wearing.
It
I've never
says
seen him before.
gamer
either.
on it.
So it must be
That sounds-
real.
Okay, that's just,
My son bought it for me.
Oh, that's cool. That's a
Okay.
great gift.
That's-
I have
I
a
didn't
bunch
know
of
your son
lanyards.
hated you
None of
like
them have
that.
games
Wow.
on them.
No, he knows I love video games. So like he said, Daddy would love this. And
you don't
bought it.
need lanyards when you have swagger.
He was
I'm
right.
just joking with you, man.
I know you're good. I'm just letting you
No,
know.
you know what you do? You wear a lanyard because you're not supposed to be there. This is to let everyone know that you're supposed to be there. I mean,
Oh.
last I checked, you're supposed to be here. So, I mean, you're good.
Yeah. The worst thing I forgot was my glasses. At least I'm here.
There's that. Because if you weren't, I'd be over there. And I like being over here.
It is nice being on that side. It is really, really nice. I ain't gonna lie.
We're taking a breath before hour number 2 happens.
It's a great breath before the plunge.
Hour dose.
No, it's Howard. Duh. I'm speaking French.
Oh, very eloquent.
I used to know the Russian alphabet, but I don't, or numbers, but I don't anymore.
Also, Donkey Kong. We are referring to the Donkey Kong country games with that, right? Not just the arcade game.
Anything Donkey
Anything
Kong on
Donkey Kong.
console, including the bongos.
Donkey Kong Barrel Blast.
Yes, loving to hear our sponsor, Borderlands Comics and Games. Got to go by the big annual sale today, and it's the first one in the new building. And there were a ton of people there, probably throughout the day, I'm sure. Matthew saw a bunch of people there. He was there in the evening. We were there in the morning. But the cool part about it is if you missed it, it's still going on tomorrow, 2 to 6, 410 South Pleasantburg Drive. Go over there and buy you some stuff because everything's on sale. And you know what? You know how percentages work? At least I think, if I'm mathing correctly, the more you buy, the more you save. That's how that works. So go buy, spend a bunch of money. And when you go over there and when you do it, when you buy all your pop culture stuff, say, I heard about it on the Upstate Pulse, because that's just kind of cool. I should say that more often.
Yeah.
So anyway, go over there and check it out tomorrow. And Rob Young from Borderlands Comics and Games and South Carolina Comic-Con should be on next week, maybe the week after, to talk about Comic-Con and all the guests that he has coming up, including they just announced a big-time AEW wrestler, Jamie Hayter, who is the AEW Women's World Champion, going to be there at South Carolina Comic-Con, as well as one of the biggest artist names to me is Kevin Eastman, the one of the original guys who came up with Ninja Turtles. And if you've seen the original Ninja Turtles, nothing like what you see on TV. They were
You mean like the original cartoon?
no, the original comic book.
The original comic book.
Yeah, the original comic book is it's dark, it's gritty. Not dark in the way of noir or something. We're gonna be talking noir later in the roundtable.
Not dark as in lighting.
Yeah, dark as in
Tone.
yeah. Oh, he just cut him in half. That kind of dark.
Oh, so like Shredder's actually like a shredder.
Yeah, everything is
Dude, that's actually pretty cool.
yeah, everything's pretty bad. And it's probably the first time I ever saw cursing in comic books.
Bet you money it was Raph.
Of course. Yes, it was.
Raph.
It was. So make sure you come to South Carolina Comic-Con, which is coming up in April. I believe it's 15th and 16th. And you're gonna have a good time there. But don't forget the Borderlands Comics and Games sale tomorrow, 2 to 6, 410 South Pleasantburg Drive. All right, we've talked a bunch of video games, and continue to send in your game suggestions. Unfortunately, Matthew has already basically doubled what was on there. So
I haven't doubled.
yeah, he's getting there. He's not
One
done
and a
yet.
half
He's not done yet. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff to filter through, along with your suggestions, with Cameron's suggestions, and with Tim's suggestions. We're gonna get those down to we'll whittle them down and get them ready for 64. Good shot next week we do play-in games, because I think it's kind of fun getting it started a little bit earlier. Getting those last 2 spots next week and giving you an idea how the bracket works, because the bracket, we always have an even amount of people picking, because if there is a tie, then you, the listener, can text in at 71307 and pick which game goes through. And so let's say that Tetris is going up against Pokemon, and me and Tim pick Tetris, and Matthew and Cameron pick Pokemon, and we have a tie. We would immediately go to the text line at 71307, and the first person to text in, that would be the game that goes through. It makes people mad. I tell people, I hate your tie-breaking system, but good. But it's you know what it is? It's the one thing that I do that is equal as far as hate for it. Everyone hates it, except for me.
I despise it.
Yes. Yes.
It's like you just gain power from the controversy.
Yeah. Like I'm Vigo from
The man in the shadows.
no, I'm Vigo from Ghostbusters.
You are
2.
Vigo.
That's me. I'm Vigo from Ghostbusters
All
2.
hail Vigo.
Yes. So all the
I am
hate
dripping with the goo.
directed at me just kind of makes me want to come out of the painting sort of thing. All right. Before we get to Vox Machina, before we get to AMC, Tim is in a band.
I am in a band.
He is a band. He's not the band, but he's in a band.
I am in a band.
He's in his band. Do we have a name yet?
We did not.
Okay, so
we are in the process of picking names. We do have a list of names, but we have not picked.
All right, if you would,
one.
I'm not saying he's going to like any of these.
Existential
Oh
dread.
no, yeah, go ahead.
If you want to text a name, what style of band is it?
This is an alternative rock / new metal type band.
All right, so send
Very Mudvayne like.
Send Tim ideas for a band name, because he doesn't know, they don't have a band name yet. He said he's narrowed it down, but text line 71307 or send us a message on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, and maybe one catches Tim's eye and he goes, dude, that's it.
Melancholy Walrus.
Okay.
I kind of like that name, but I think that would be kind of emo, wouldn't it? Melancholy Walrus.
It would still be like alt rock, new metal. I feel like Melancholy Walrus would work.
Yeah.
Sure. We're getting some names already up on the stream. So, all right. So Tim, what are you doing in the band?
I will be the frontman / vocalist / lyricist.
Are you going to play an instrument?
I feel like two of those things are the same things.
Yes. It depends on the song. But being the frontman, I'd rather be running around on certain songs.
Also, you're gonna be active like old school David Lee Roth.
Very active, yes.
Do you know old school David Lee Roth?
Yeah, I've seen some things.
Yeah, so you can jump up and do the splits up in the middle of the air and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not doing all that.
Do some kung fu and some things like that.
Just be some mild head.
So, how many people in the band?
Right now, 4.
4. Okay, what we got instrument wise?
We have a bass, we have a drummer, we have our lead guitarist, and myself.
So who's playing rhythm?
That's why it's up in the air at the moment, whether I'm going to sing and play or play.
Because this is just my experience, and there are like 3-piece bands that sound like 10-piece bands. It just depends on skill
We've been
level.
tossing around the idea, and I'm trying not to, because I've been asked not to reveal too much.
All right, so when they bring the lights down to give the drummer a rest and everyone a rest, are you going to do some acoustic?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
we are going to be. We've tossed around the idea of doing an acoustic show, because a lot of the new metal bands are doing a lot of that. And
Because what it does, it shows how well the singer can sing, and it also shows how good the artists are about being able to bring it down. Bless you, by the way.
Yeah, and I actually put an example of that on my Facebook page the other day. I think it was "Bring Me the Horizon" singing a acoustic song of one of their songs. It's really just like, but like they did an acoustic version. It's such a beautiful song. So it really shows off that, for anybody that says, "Oh, metal's not real music," or "Metalcore is not real music," they're not real musicians. Well, they just spit in your face with that.
Well, this has been going on since the 80s with rock bands and metal bands.
Yeah,
bringing it down and doing that sort of thing. That's the reason why I was asking. MTV Unplugged, very famous for bringing in bands like Nirvana and
Alice in Chains.
Yeah, and having them do acoustic sets, and then you could really hear the harmonies that the singers were having and see the.
But there are
abilities of the
some
singers.
musicians that aren't that great at acoustic. There's
Right.
there's some
absolutely,
that aren't.
Absolutely. By the way, you get a ton of names on here.
Oh, I have another one to
yeah.
add too.
You're not gonna use probably any of them, but you never know.
I have one more to add before you start reading through those. Cattywampus Llamas.
Llamas.
I believe Cattywampus has already been used as a band
And
name, by the way.
and I think
Is
he
it?
just wanted.
Oh.
I think he just wanted a reason to say Cattywampus.
for
did.
2 weeks in a row. For 2 weeks in a row, he has done that now.
I'll sneak it in any place.
But when I can
Cattywampus.
reveal more, I will. But I mean, unfortunately, it's really all I can say. Like, I can't really say too much because we're still trying to get things together.
All right, I will. So I had a dream last night where my old guitarist, before the band broke up because of friction. So in the dream, I kept trying to get a hug from my old guitarist. So I'm just curious. Have you guys discussed the fact that you're
not a hugger.
Yeah, I know. That's what made the dream interesting. When I do though, it's special. So have you guys discussed the fact, and this is something that just a little advice. You discuss the fact that you're on the air and there's a chance that maybe people recognize you from being on the radio.
Yes.
Okay.
That
And they are banking on that.
So you're going to use that, which is a good thing, as long as people don't suddenly become jealous of that.
If your boys are behind you on it,
because
they love it. They love what I do. They because radio production is not the only production that I do.
Well, until you go to do a gig and someone and you didn't know they were going to do it goes, and now Lonzo from WORD and Crimson Promise, and the entire band looks at you like you had them do it, even though I had no idea they were going to do it.
Right.
That's the kind of thing. That's something that I think you should address before you get into it.
Well, yeah. Now we do. I know that all of us have connections in different areas, and that's just another avenue for myself as far as connections go. And I think that's the way that they are kind of looking at it.
Are we just live banding it, or are we talking about recording eventually?
No. I'm a recording artist and a mix engineer and producer for music as well. So I'm going to be recording everything, and we're doing live. Okay.
The other thing is when you're that guy, you got to be careful because people will be like, well, why didn't you make this sound better and things like. I'm going the negative route.
No.
I mean, route to just try to help you out a little bit.
I mean, I understand that, but even still, if I'm worried about,
if your work is really good, it's not going to matter.
Exactly. Like, I mean, if I'm worried about that all the time, then
if you got that's pessimism. If you have one of those perfection, I'm just trying to prepare you for things like, okay, why is my background vocal being lost in the mix? Why is my guitar solo seem to be lower than the bass line? I mean, just stuff like that.
Oh,
not like I've heard those things before.
Oh, I know.
Maybe I have.
You're asking questions that I've asked to myself a million times on a million different other songs that I've mixed.
Well, so, I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. I'm so excited to get back into doing stuff.
I hope
like
you
this.
become a big star. I'll have to find someone to replace you when it happens, but that's fine.
I'm still coming in here to talk.
Okay. All right. As long as you're still coming in here. I mean, but I mean, if you're out on tour in Europe or something, you're not going to be able to do that unless you take a Comrex with you, which you probably could. So
I probably could.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
I'm sure I could sneak one.
So out. Tim's in the band, dude. And we're
live
gonna find
from
out.
Hostel in Germany.
Yeah, so we're gonna find out what happens there. I do miss being in a band a lot, but then I have dreams like I did last night and remember why I'm not in a band anymore. So I'm older, so at my age I have to do a Southern Gospel quartet. I mean, that's what you're expected.
Well, it's funny you say that.
When you get in the 50s, that's what you got to do.
Put on your vest, get on up there.
Well, it's funny you say that. I was actually talking to our drummer the other night after I got off work, and he said something similar, like where he was like, this is do or die for us. Like, we got to do this. We got to at least try.
Well, you got to try, and the thing is, it's if it's about the music and you're up there and you're having fun, and if there's 4 people in the audience, if you guys are having a blast, that's all that matters.
Right.
I mean, because if you're as good as you possibly can, you'll find that audience eventually.
Right. And like once we get to a point of, wanting to reveal more, I'll let you know who everybody is. At this point, I can't do that, but we have an amazing guitarist.
That makes it sound like that's just some famous.
Well,
people
some
in
of
the
them.
area.
Well, yeah, some
don't
of them.
Give it away.
Yeah,
keep the intrigue going.
So,
man.
Never spoil the surprise.
We have an amazing guitarist. Our guitarist is awesome. My drummer I've known since high school, and he's amazing, really good on the drums.
By the way, Chris suggests you call the band the Cicadas. I think that's been used.
That's already been used.
Yeah, and the other thing is, but you could spell it differently,
right?
Because until this moment, I didn't know how to spell cicada, and I'm just gonna believe that Chris spelled it right.
No,
you didn't.
But our bass player.
Thank you, Matthew. Sorry, Chris, I didn't do what he did.
Our bass player is. I haven't met him personally yet, but I have heard him play, and he is a wonderful bassist.
Oh, there you go.
wonderful bass.
There you go. All right, so Tim's in a band. He will reveal things when he can reveal them, and looking forward to that. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little Vox Machina and talk about something that AMC is going to start doing as far as seating prices goes for movies, and see what you guys think about that. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD, continuing live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We're going to be right there on Twitter. There you go.
It's the Twitter.
The Twitter.
We're right there on that there Twitter.
Trey probably not going to make a comeback.
Oh, I like that name.
It would
Good
be
name.
that would be awesome for us to make a comeback, but we can't do that because we're all in different places. I mean, to me, I am the band. Me and my wife. So and we know some people that we could get back together, but I don't have time. That's really what it comes down to. This is a pay for program, so I have to do that. When we were doing the band thing, we played on Saturday nights a lot. And or even times when I was doing the scoreboard where I would do a scoreboard and then I would go and do play somewhere. And it was tough because doing the show takes a lot out of you. And then I had to pace myself and try to find that medium where not giving too much here, so I'd have some there, and never found that middle. And I agree, there are a lot of older bands that are awesome, including the Newsboys. I guess the Newsboys is one of the first Christian bands I got to see when after my wife and I got married. I think it was the very first year we got married. We went to see Stephen Curtis Chapman with the Newsboys as the backup band, and they had the drum kit that like spun around on the wall, which was really cool for a Christian band. So it went up on the wall and it like spun, and the guy was playing on the wall while he was. It was cool.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, I love shooting.
It's like drums.
Yeah, the entire drum kit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of like Joey Jordison from Slipknot. Yeah. They flip him up like this and then spin him.
Yeah, it's like that. But this was way before that band existed.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, this was. I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not doing that
like
thing,
I'm just saying.
but this was
really cool
this
when he
was
does
like
that.
28 years ago. So
Of course, he does it with a pentagram on his
Shrek
thing.
race.
yeah, of course, which
That
is
is the
slightly
same
different than
Yeah,
a Christian
but-
band. Yeah,
But it's still pretty cool to see him do that.
but if the pentagram
Extravagant.
turns, then that means it's a star sometimes.
Well, yeah, no, they turned the star upside down. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
complete pentagram thing.
Like kissing her, like in the background. I was like, why are these two in the same
But a lot of
picture?
people
How
don't
does that
realize
make
about
sense?
those kinds of bands.
I don't get it.
That back then it was a gimmick. Nowadays,
Nowadays, you get Sam Smith. Anyway,
yeah,
So like my
or
reaction to him
little
was like,
whatever his name is.
Lil Nas,
Nas, yeah, that's it. One of them Lils.
Nas X.
One of them there Lils.
I know. I wish they'd come up with some different rapper names now.
You can just enjoy the rave. No, that's a difference in quality, apparently.
I remember-
wouldn't know.
The only thing I respected
I
about Machine
remember-
Gun Kelly is its name didn't start with a Lil.
I remember making fun of B.O.B. and say, why would he call your name Bob? And, it was just, and I knew what it meant. And
What was the one that we were
my
talking?
daughter and my son-in-law were in here watching, and he's like, why does he not know? And it's like, that's the joke. Yes, I know.
Yes.
I know.
He's playing. He's doing a bit.
Yeah. Still,
It's a play on
a lot of
words.
people don't see the dots in there. All they see is, and now rapping on the stage,
Bob
from
accounting.
And then I picture Bob McLean, who is the worst rapper in the history of mankind. I've seen it. It's not good.
I don't think I want to see it.
There's video out there
Is it
somewhere.
Like Vanilla
Oh
Ice
no, it's
status?
bad.
Don't worry.
It's
I'm not gonna look for
it's
it.
really bad. It was during American Idol. Some guy did a thing, pants on the ground, looking like a fool with the pants on the ground. And we did a video of it, and Bob did it. It was so bad. It was so, and he knows. Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Alonzo, T2, Matthew, and Cameron having a blast on Saturday night. I want to thank everybody for participating on Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. I want to tell you, sometimes some of the pages, even though we're on like 8 different pages, you may comment on them, and I may not comment back, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I don't see it. So if you really want your messages to be seen, make sure it's on either the 106.3 WORD or the Upstate Pulse pages on any of those things. And there's a good shot that I will see them, or we will see them and be able to read them. And, we will always see your texts on 71307. So you can send those in. When's the last time you guys went to the movies?
The last time I went to the movies was when we went to see Dragon Ball Super.
So it's been a little bit since you went.
I went to see Puss in Boots last weekend, actually.
There you go. Would you have paid extra for seating to get the seat that you want?
No.
All right. So here's the thing. AMC is doing a thing where they're going to charge you extra for where you want to sit. Right now, all theaters are assigned seats, but AMC, we don't have any AMCs here. So,
no, that's good.
But once one, and AMC's been going through a lot of money problems.
2 weeks from now, AMC currently out of business.
They
AMC
were near bankruptcy for a while. We have Regal here. So, but if it's successful for AMC, guaranteed, Regal will probably do the same thing. Theaters that offer Sightline at AMC are expected to provide a detailed seat map that outlines each seating option during the ticket purchase process online on the AMC app and the box office. Sightline at AMC is applied to all show times that begin after 4 p.m. So if you go before then, you don't have to worry about it. At participating locations, it's not applicable on discount Tuesdays and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I'm trying to find the prices because I saw that earlier. So anyway, if you sit on the side, you don't have to pay as much. If you sit right in the middle of the theater and back near the back, you're going to have to pay extra. And if you are one of the people who wants to see a movie and you're willing to sit in the front 2 or 3 rows, the ones that will come out of the thing with a neck ache, you pay less. Which, I'm almost okay with that. The first 2 or 3 rows paying less because you're not going to get the full theater experience. I don't know why you wouldn't just wait till the next showing, but that's fine. You want to see it that bad.
I know people that like sitting in those seats, and I don't know how they do it.
I mean, if it's one of those limited showing things where they're only showing it once, and it's something like we went to see, I think it was the 25th anniversary of Transformers.
Yes.
And so it was like only showing once. And so Cameron and I and Chris from the Upstate Pulse, who's now a engineer, we went to see it. And so if it's one of those limited engagements where it's only there one time, I get paying to see it up front like that. But if not, I'm just not buying those seats. I'm waiting for the next thing. So if all theaters go that way, are you guys willing to, Tim, are you willing to pay extra money to sit right in the middle? By the way, people love that sitting right in the middle. That's the worst spot. You know why? Because then you got, excuse me, pardon me. The
best place to sit is like 3 rows down in the mid side. So you don't want to be in the dead middle, but you don't want to be on the edge where you're cricking your neck over. You want to be where you can look straight on, but you're still in that center-ish section where the audio is balanced around.
Yep. And that's in most theaters. In IMAX, though, there's almost no bad seats, I think. Because
it's a lot
the
better in
screen
IMAX,
is so big.
but in general, that range is still where things are somewhat balanced.
So Matthew, you willing to pay extra to get those seats?
Oh, when I go to movies, I go on the weekends and the mornings. So that won't affect me.
All right, Cameron, you willing to pay extra?
The miser in me is saying no, but the flip side is like,
I could joke around and ask Cameron when's the last time he paid for a movie ticket, but I'm not going to do that.
I mean, I personally think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't like it, and I hope it's not a trend that happens. But once these things start, if they're trying to get more money to keep theaters open, if it's a matter of the theaters will close or they do this, would you rather just let the theaters close?
I'd rather let the theaters close, and they can just give us an app.
Well,
and we can watch it from our homes.
Well, we got that some during COVID.
Honestly, I think that's the route that they should go.
There are some movies like Matrix and some things like that.
100% disagree.
You're losing that experience.
The theater experience is absolutely critical to the movie going experience. Like that is Exactly. It's an
Well, no,
experience.
I mean, I get
agree.
that. I get that 100%. But if you're about to jack the price up on me just to go see a movie and sit where I want to sit, I'd rather just watch it at home.
Maybe that's how you feel, but that's
That's what I'm
that's how you
saying.
feel.
It's
Well,
what my
that's why-
personal opinion
that's why
is
we're
what
having
he
this
asked for.
conversation. That's why we're having this conversation. All right.
That's
So
like your opinion, man.
yeah.
That's like your opinion.
Well, I mean, that's what he asked for.
Well, Tim, your opinion's wrong. No, I'm more with Matthew here. I think it depends on the movie. I think there are certain movies, blockbuster movies, I think you need to watch them in a crowd. Because for one thing, that's how they become blockbusters, because a bunch of people went to the theater to see them. And the other thing is, other than people talking when they shouldn't talk in the worst spots,
I hate when people talk during movies.
like when Aunt May died.
Matthew's the guy in the theater.
John says, make it fun, do musical chairs. That used to happen when there were no assigned chairs and you were there by yourself and you went to the bathroom. You come back, someone's sitting in your seat who's a large man, and you don't want to fight, so you just find another seat.
Or
All
you could just ask him politely.
All right,
It could be a very meek large man.
I got to say, I made up that whole thing because I never would go to the movies by myself. I'm just not that guy. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to the movies by myself.
But I know people who do. Matthew probably went by himself.
I go by myself all the time.
Yeah, and I know Twisted Todd down the hall, before he got married, every time we go see a movie, he'd be coming out by himself.
I remember that.
Yeah. Almost every time we go, because he's been on the show before. He's into all the stuff that we're into. So he'd hit that showing always right before us. He'd be walking out and we'd be walking in. So
I used to work at a movie theater when I was in college. And let me tell you, we got 2 free movies a week. I used every single one of those.
That's it? I thought you could watch every movie.
No. So it used to be that you could just go, you had 2 free tickets per day. And then they took it down to 2 per week near the end of the time that I was working there.
So what do you guys think? Text line 71307 or Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Would you pay extra for seats if it ends up going that way, or will you just wait till it comes on pay-per-view? All right. Vox Machina's last 3 episodes just happened, and Cameron and I are going to talk about that real quick before we take a break. It's one of those things where one of the best fights that you've ever seen in anime or in an animated film kind of happened.
Mhm.
And I got a text from Rob Brown from the Rob Brown Show going, dude, you got to see this fight. He's like, I haven't seen it yet. Don't spoil. And then Cameron and I watched the fight last night. It was very good. It really was. I think season 2 of Vox Machina far surpasses season 1. And a lot of it may have to do with, this was my introduction to the characters. And so maybe the fact that the characters are already fleshed out and I know them to a degree made season 2 better, because I already know, what each of them can do and all that kind of stuff, and know which ones are more potty mouthed than others, know which ones like each other and all that kind of stuff. And they ramped this thing up. And the fact that this all comes from Dungeons and Dragons, and from people just sitting down playing D&D, I think is really, really cool. There have been a lot of things like Dragonlance, the Dragonlance books that came from a group of people sitting down and playing Dungeons and Dragons. So there's a lot of things that have come from that I really enjoyed. But Vox Machina, the last 3 episodes, what is your favorite part, Cameron?
I gotta say, it's gotta be, are we spoiling?
You probably want to hold off on spoilers.
Yeah, because it came off.
I will say the end
yes.
To that particular fight, because out of
one of the best deaths of something by something that shouldn't have been able to do it and is obvious and no one does it.
So D&D moment.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
Which is exactly what this is, as we talked
And the other
about.
thing is the particular character. I always enjoy how that player plays that character, and they always seem like they have something clever up their sleeve and are always able to finish and do like have a big moment. And it's always fun to.
No, you got to do it. You got to do it. I told you.
My film's supposed to be silent.
Average is 1. Yeah. Well, anyway. So before we go to break.
All right. Do I have to do it?
Yes.
Yes.
There we
is.
there we go. There we go.
It was us though.
Yeah, I know. But still.
I don't want to hear myself twice.
Yeah, I've learned that lesson. I want to hear me as much as
Yeah,
I
I'm not doing
possibly
that
can.
anymore.
So check it out. I will say as we go to break, I will say that I got Misty a couple times in this. I was emotionally invested in it. I thought it was really, really good. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. It's a little raunchy, or it's a lot raunchy, but the fighting very bloody and really, really good. All right, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk. I know we already did this in the first hour, but we got more to talk about. We're gonna talk video games, including Hogwarts Legacy just came out. Cameron and I have played it. We're going to review what we've played so far. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
Did you jazz hands? I only just saw like out of the corner of my
I jazz hands like once or twice a show, dude. I swear, it's like my go-to.
See, that's the thing. I play to the camera all the time. I do that over there too, because that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
We're on camera.
Play to the camera.
So play to the camera as much as you
I make
can.
stupid
I'm not
faces
criticizing. I'm
constantly.
just asking,
also-
making sure I saw it correctly.
On
'cause
the
it's out
Rob
of my
Brown
bad
show,
eye.
sometimes I'm making faces when he's not looking at me. As soon as he looks at me, I stop. Just because I think it's funny. It may not be, but it is to me.
I make faces for the camera during our shows all the time.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah,
I
that's what-
mean,
Matthew, it's never out of judgment. I just wanted to know I wasn't being crazy.
all right. Scott on Facebook says
I
Critical
do
Role
jazz
just
hands all the
announced they will be doing an animated series for the second campaign, The Mighty Nine. Can't wait to see the epic cupcake gambit. Cameron, have you watched The Mighty Nine?
I've watched more of the Mighty Nine than I did Vox Machina.
Okay. All right. So which one is this? I mean,
The Mighty Nine's going to be a lot darker.
okay. So which one do you like more?
I'll be honest. I kind of don't know. They're
You like them both, but for different reasons.
yes, they're two different groups. Because Vox Machina is much more of your
Goofy D&D adventure.
yes,
Mhm.
He's
and they're
all
like
excited about it.
they're the typical heroes. Mighty Nine, not so much. It's a whole bunch of messed up people.
Got you. Come back with video game entry.
You want
Next-
to do the raid?
We may not get to it.
Okay. Game review.
Here's a little radio tip, kids. Over prepare, even when you don't think you've over prepared.
Looking forward to raiding.
That's just a life general.
Yeah,
Just saying.
and then when hey, I'm not saying we're not getting to it, but we probably won't.
Well, we could.
Here's a pappyism for you. There's no kill like overkill.
Probably.
Steven, it's because nothing comes
Probably.
out on Switch until months later.
It was in there because I thought it was a little light on.
By the
I
way,
have
on
two things. for that,
Monster
there you go. There you go.
Fought Crimson Valstrax.
Yeah.
The freaking rocket dragon.
The Rocket Dragon.
Did the advanced fight. Holy crap, that was a lot
Yeah.
That was one of the most epic fights I've had.
I'm like, no, I shouldn't.
on
Monster
there.
Hunter is
All right,
really good.
so have roundtable ready. I know I see where we are.
Yeah.
Now don't have roundtable ready. We'll just go into lightning round and I'll still ask the question that I've been meaning to ask. You know what? Have roundtable ready instead of video games. We will merge them.
Merge them.
Power play on my
So
part.
you still want to come back with game review?
No,
No.
come back with roundtable.
Is it power play or is it an audible?
And you want to merge in game review?
No. Well, we're going to talk about both in the roundtable.
I'll listen.
Just have roundtable.
By the way, the other
ready.
day, there's
Did you not get that?
I
Roundtable
just got done
intro-
talking to somebody
intro.
at work.
Uh-huh.
Like I see him like
Right.
do a
We're coming back with
moonwalk.
roundtable.
Yeah, no video game
Just
intro.
moonwalk away from me. That was
Don't
judging.
look confused, man. You're throwing me.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I did.
Mostly because it's fun. I like to make him feel nervous. But
As you should.
I thought you meant crossfade him or something.
it's also like
Wait,
6'5".
What I meant was the
Checking.
topics,
But-
not the intros. I apologize for being unclear in my instructions.
All good.
You ought to know me by now.
I am, and I'm not angry about it.
It's a fun game.
We're not really fighting. We're just playing around, by the way. That's what you know.
I hear a
This is what we
Charlie
do
thing and
here
I
at the radio
immediately get
station.
oh, okay, here I'm about
We
to go
argue
on.
with that
Yeah.
arguing.
I'm hardwired. Oh gosh.
You've been Pavloved.
And the best thing about it is nobody gets really mad
Also,
at each
the
other.
All Mother fight was really good.
Not
too.
here, although this has happened a couple
The-
times.
yeah,
but
but-
that's
Ibushi fusion
not
thing.
not for me.
Because I
Not
got
with
described,
you
It
guys.
was like, oh, they're about to do the fusion dance. That's not fusion dance. She just ate him.
Yup.
All right, in the roundtable, we're going to merge some things because the roundtable, you can talk about a lot of things. So we're going to be talking video games in the roundtable. But first, because I've teased it the entire show, I don't want to skip past it because I would never do such a thing, would I, Cameron? I would never tease something and not go to it.
No.
That's not something.
No, you would not.
That's not something I do. It's not something I'm known
You would
for.
never do that.
I would never do such a thing. So the question I asked at the beginning of the show, would Darth Vader be as menacing if James Earl Jones were not voicing him? Tim,
Why do I gotta go first?
Cameron,
All right. The answer is a big fat no, because most of the intimidation is from the voice. Yes, you have this tall, intimidating figure in black armor and whatnot, but with that voice and that respirator, it's just otherworldly.
all right, let me add one more thing before Matthew goes while Tim gathers
Oh
himself.
no! I have an answer.
Well, Matthew's going next now, so you got to wait. I'm only talking about Darth Vader in 4, 5, and 6 because Darth Vader in the hallway scene, Darth Vader, especially in Obi-Wan, he didn't have to say a word. But in the original 3, that was it. I mean, it was the voice. All right, Matthew.
I would argue that he is still. You gonna pull it up? Pulling it up.
He has to.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
have
rule.
to.
It's a rule, man. I mean, there we go. There we go. I know it sucks. It really does.
Matthew, your point, sir.
My point is that I hate you all. But besides that, I honestly think that there would be. I don't think it would be as menacing, but the actual framing and writing around Darth Vader does do a lot of work to make him as menacing as he is, on top of the voice and the delivery of it. So I think there would still be a degree of it, but I do think it would take a little bit away.
All right, Tim.
Well, to elaborate and to rebut to Cameron's statement, I'm gonna have to disagree with you, man. Only because, as a producer, you can make Darth Vader sound any way you want to. So yes, I think you could, with anybody's voice, make him sound just as menacing.
All right, so I am going to disagree and rebut what Tim just said. Really, it comes down to.
Well, it comes from the writing too.
Matthew,
Well,
are
what
you
writing
okay?
was
You seem
saying.
like you're having a spasm.
It comes down to
I was
during
tripping
Yeah.
during this time period, which none of you were alive for. I want to point out during this time period, we didn't know James Earl Jones was the voice until he came through. Until he started talking, and it's like, whoa! And it was a familiar voice, but unless you're really into actors, you didn't know who it was.
Right.
This was the thing that made him a household name when people started finding out that it was him.
He was
had
also
done-
in Sandlot.
Well, he had done some things that had happened after.
Yeah.
After Star Wars.
I know.
He was also in Conan the Barbarian.
He was also Mufasa.
He was, which happened later. But in Conan the Barbarian,
Mufasa.
he was Thulsa Doom. He was the main bad guy. Here's the thing, though. He was more of a B-movie actor in a lot of ways until this happened, until people realized the voice of Vader. Now, after that,
Yeah, but there's other actors that have that same type of menacing tone in their voice.
But there's none that would be as iconic, just like
during
how,
that day,
Disagree.
during that day, there was not. And again, this is one of those things where I could say, you guys weren't there. Because
Well,
you
yeah.
weren't,
I
because you
mean,
weren't.
I see what you're saying,
I-
but
I mean,
it's
this
like
day and
like
age-
the guy that voices Madara Uchiha.
But see, that's the thing.
The English voice actor for him
this day and
sounds
age-
menacing.
This day and age, voice actors are not that extra guy that no one knows who they are. A lot of people, especially people who listen to this show and others like it, not in the upstate because there aren't any in the upstate like this,
Right.
but people who listen to this kind of stuff, they know voice actor names. Back then, it was not like that. And the fact that that he came in and did that, and that got him to be a star.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doubting anything that you're saying.
But if
I'm
go
just
back,
the
go
question
back,
is could his voice be menacing with
By the way,
anybody else's voice?
go back.
That's not the question.
Go back and listen to David Prowse, who's the actor who played Darth Vader in those 3 movies. His voice was the original voice, him talking, and compare it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
and
about.
you'll go, no, that was not scary at all, because now you know what to compare it to. That booming bass.
It's not just about how generally menacing they can be, but how the different details and the different inflections and how the actual tones of the voice work with the design that you're working with. Does this voice fit, and how do those inflections work in the way that that Vader is being portrayed to actually sell everything exactly right? Just because two voice actors both happen to do a solid job at being generally menacing doesn't mean that they can both fit a specific role that wants to be menacing, because there's different nuances within it that you need to fit. And I don't think that anyone really hits that outside of James Earl Jones and a couple impersonators.
Well, no, I mean, I agree with all of that. It's just, I think that to say that he's the only person in the world that could ever be Darth Vader is a stretch.
All right, Viper Dave nails it. Helmet proves it's the voice. Without that, nobody's afraid. Nobody's afraid of. Have you guys seen Spaceballs? I'm getting.
No.
Oh yeah,
Rick Moranis as Helmet, and he's got the helmet on, and he's talking. Is his voice menacing at all? Even with the and all that stuff? No, it's not. And
they also put some very basic filters over it, which was part of the joke.
Well, yeah, but if you never saw it was Rick Moranis, you would know it's just some short dude. You still would not. I mean, his voice is not menacing. It's James Earl Jones that made that character. Now,
well, yeah, I agree with that.
So many
I do agree with that. I think James Earl Jones did a wonderful job. Maybe I misunderstood the question, but I thought the question was could anybody else be?
No. The question is, would Darth Vader be intimidating without the voice?
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say that. No.
All right. So, real quick before we take this break, Hogwarts Legacy just came out. I've watched all the movies. I haven't read the books, but when I started playing this game, first of all, the price point's pretty expensive, and all games are going this way. Unfortunately, thank you, Brandon. So you had to pay a little bit extra to start buying new games, which I haven't bought a new one since I think Elden Ring. So it'd been a year, and I really like this game. I didn't think I was going to, and despite what Matthew thinks and
I want to play
thinks
it so bad,
and other people thinks, I will tank as a wizard.
It is going to.
It's already happening.
Can we please record
totally
this?
Build a tank in an RPG. The thing is, you're not the way that you're describing it. You're not describing a tank.
Sure, I am.
You're just describing a young man who's getting horribly mangled by spells.
Who puts
thinks he can tank spells.
puts 10,000 points in health so he can take a ton of hits.
There are no points to put in there though,
so he doesn't have to block.
Oh my god,
I don't like the block.
I cannot wait to play this game just so I can see how hard it would be to be a tank in this game.
Go ahead and hit the music real quick. I got Hufflepuff. I wanted Hufflepuff. I'm gonna bring Hufflepuff up to where it should go. Cameron, what house are you in?
Slytherin.
Of course. And what do you think about the game?
Oh, I'm loving it so far. The attention to detail is amazing.
It's a beautiful game.
It's so densely packed too.
I am 6 hours in and only at like 7% completion. So it's a pretty big game. All right, we're going to take a break. When we get back, it's time for Lightning Round. Listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD. All right. We can continue talking about the game during this break.
Okay. There's only like 30 spells in it too.
Well, I've only got I think 7 so far. The one problem that I have so far
Has anybody got the unforgivable curses yet?
I'm working on it.
You can only have 4 spells active at once. They don't have that where you can push a button and get to the second wheel of. I don't know if it opens up or not. So you got.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's a problem. And so that's my biggest problem with it so far, that you can't have all your spells at the ready, push a button and get to your second wheel of
Because you should be able to bring out your entire.
It's been done on so many
time.
different games.
It might be done in the DLC when it comes out.
That's not something that you put in DLC.
Yeah, that's a
You
base
can
game
fix
kind of thing.
Game mechanics and DLCs.
That's not a game mechanic that you put in
You're
DLC.
talking about
And if you
holding a
put that in
button and
DLC.
accessing
That is
different spells?
solely
Yeah.
That's
a
totally
thing.
a game mechanic.
Yeah, it is a game mechanic, and they should do it, and they don't.
No,
They can fix that in
they
the
took
DLC.
If they did that in DLC, that is a thing. That is against the game. That is bad. You do not do something like
No,
that.
that's fixing something that they screwed up.
That is
By the-
no. That is fixing something and charging you for the fix.
Well, yeah, unless
That
it's
is
Well,
unless it's-
yeah, no,
unless
I
it-
don't think they should.
unless
charge
it's
you
free
for it.
DLC, and
No,
it could.
if
But
it's
they
a free
will,
update,
but-
that's a free
A
update.
free
fixing
update,
something
yeah.
that should have been fixed,
Here's the
but
thing,
at
by
least
the
they
way,
fixed it, kind of.
By the
Because
way,
they did that for.
I'm only like I said,
some of the Kingdom
I'm only like 7 or 8% in. So maybe that opens up eventually. Maybe that's as you advance as a student, you get an ability to do that. So because
That
I'm not
could be
far enough
too.
along,
That
it
could
could
be too,
actually
yeah.
happen.
I don't know. Either way, I've really only heard middling things about the game. So, on top of
I wanna
other
play
things,
it. I can't wait to play it. I'm waiting to get.
Despite the controversy and all that stuff, I can get past all that. I don't care about all that. I mean, as far as video games goes,
when I get
there's
my
always gonna be-
PS5, that's the first game I'm buying.
there's always going to be something in a game that's going to offend you or something like that. Just like an actor you don't like because of their politics or something. As far as playing the game goes, it's beautiful. The game mechanics are pretty good, except for that one problem that I have. And like I said, right now I think I have 7 spells and I can only use 4 at a time. But it's real easy to replace them, but you shouldn't have to do that mid-combat. I also have Expelliarmus or whatever it is. I just got that. So, and I haven't used it in combat yet to remove the wand from someone's hand. I can't wait to do that. But you can go away from Hogwarts and go out to hamlets and explore hamlets. And I've been doing that. And there's a ton of puzzles, which you can expect within the castle and outside
I don't
of it.
think a lot of the spell names are very creative.
And the storyline.
I thought
so
that when I
Like
originally read the
Latin and
book.
stuff.
the storyline's been pretty good so far.
Avada
I really like
Kedavra
the
sounds
storyline.
Like
What are you trying to say?
Abracadabra.
And by the way, the game starts out. You don't expect how the game starts out.
It fires off very quickly.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I was not ready for that.
Sempra sounds pretty cool though.
The what?
The spell that Harry cast on Malfoy. I think it's the 7th movie where he makes him like bleed all over.
Yeah, I don't know if you. Apparently,
That
there's
was a
some.
pretty cool name.
It's pretty bad stuff. Cameron would probably get the bad spells before I do because he's slithering. I'm Hufflepuff, man. Yeah.
Spelliarmus, Avada Kedavra.
There doesn't
Very
seem to
creative.
be any contention between the houses.
Well, not at the
Right
moment.
now.
It's early in the game. You're right.
Right now. You're only 6 hours in. Sounds so funny when you say it that way.
Well, how big was the game? It was like 100 and something gig, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a lot to it.
it's
How
all-
many gigs?
It's like 145 or something like it. It's a huge game.
I think
Uh,
it was Final Fantasy
Thomas would
remake
like you to
was-
speak into the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Lightning can only strike twice so many times.
All right, time for the lightning round where we squeeze in as many things we can. On the stream, Viper Dave 1125 on Twitch says, do you get to choose your house or is it random? You do go to the sorting hat. I'm not going to spoil. I mean, because it's in the trailer. You get sorted and you are asked a couple questions, and it varies. I was only asked 2 questions, and my daughter, I think, was asked like 6 questions. So I think
Is
I
it based
also
off
got
of your
two.
questions or is it totally random?
it's based off how you answer the questions about what house they put you in.
Oh, okay.
So you can kind of, I mean, it's easy to get in Slytherin. I mean, because it's obvious what the answers, and there's only 2 answers
I'm
to
here
each
for
question.
power.
Yeah, there's only 2 answers to each question. So you can go, yeah, if you're going for that kind of stuff, you're going to be Slytherin. I knew that I had a good shot of being either Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw, and I wanted one of those 2 because I knew that Cameron and Raven, I knew one was going to be in Gryffindor and one was going to be in Slytherin because I wanted to be able to compare. So right now, the characters that you deal with are still the same, except for the people in your house that you interact with are different. And also you get to see what it looks like in the other houses, which you didn't get to do in the movies. So I now know what it looks like inside of the Hufflepuff house.
And that's really cool, actually, that they expanded on the other houses.
From what I understand, Gryffindor is huge. Hufflepuff, it's like 3 rooms. It's not that big.
It's not big in Slytherin either, but they have like an underwater section.
Isn't Hufflepuff more Muggle based?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that is the way that it works.
If you say so, you read the books I didn't. So there's that.
Oh, well, I only read like two or three of them.
Well, that's 2 or 3 more than I did. So I mean,
the movies came out, and I was like, I ain't doing this no more. Let's just watch the movie.
All right. Nintendo Switch is adding Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games to the online service.
Yay!
You excited about that, Matthew?
Yeah, for the most part.
What is the first game you think of when you think of Game Boy or Game Boy Advance that you'd love to be able to play on Switch?
There's not really a whole lot that I can think of specifically wanting to go to Switch, because I kind of actually own all the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games that I want to play for the most part.
Okay.
But
Well, they're going to have, and I think it launched today, Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, Gargoyle's Quest, Game & Watch Gallery, whatever that is, Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, Metroid 2, and games like that, Wario Land, games like that. So now you can get those games that you played on the Advance or the Color, and you can do that. All right, the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile. Has anybody seen that close up? Cameron and I have.
Yes.
I've not seen it up close.
Have you seen the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile up close?
I have not seen it up close.
It does. Have you seen the period? Do you know what it is?
I can imagine what it looks like in my head.
It's a giant hot dog car.
Yeah,
is what it is.
That's exactly what I imagined.
Well, some punk vandalized the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile in Vegas.
That's right. Punk rock for life, dude.
No, punk as in jerk, as in thief, as in this is a landmark, leave it alone, that type of thing. The famed Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile missed a scheduled appearance in Las Vegas Friday after someone stole the vehicle's catalytic converter. So
Cadillac converter?
So someone went under the wiener and stole the catalytic converter. The driver of the 27-foot long wiener on wheels discovered the theft in the morning when he couldn't get it started. An Oscar Mayer rep says the giant hot dog was towed to a local service station where mechanics installed a temporary catalytic converter so the vehicle could make its second scheduled appearance of the day. Police say no one was more surprised about the theft than Joseph Rodriguez, who works at the Penske shop and repaired the vehicle. A hot dog truck? No way, Rodriguez says. Imagine like a huge hot dog in the middle of your bay. There's all these other trucks, and you got to work on this. I would have videoed
the entire process.
I wanted to go Southern accent there, but it's Joseph Rodriguez, and I just didn't think Southern would work there, but anyway,
it could be Southern.
Well, it could be. Let's see how much time I got. Okay, we got time. Live action Spider-Man Noir is in the works for Amazon Prime. Cameron, you down for this?
As long as Nick Cage is reprising his role.
I didn't even think about Nick Cage being, but he's not going to be, but he could be. So apparently in Spider-Man Noir, how Spider-Man got his powers was from a spider god. And who more better than to play Spider-Man than Nick Cage getting his powers from a spider god? All right. Thanks to everybody for participating on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, and on the text line and on the radio. Make sure to go to Borderlands Comics and Games tomorrow from 2 to 6, 410 South Pleasantburg Drive for the annual sale. And thank you for all your game ideas. We're going to start narrowing things down. And have a great weekend, everybody. And finally, because it's my show, go Chiefs. Thank you, Philip. Good night.
It's over. Go home.
All right.
Why did that sound more intimidating
Tim,
when you're saying
speak in
that?
the microphone and say goodbye.
Goodbye. I have spoken.
All right,
During that
Matthew,
last
say
segment,
goodbye
that
to the
was
stream.
Goodbye, stream.
Cameron, say goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road.
And I will say goodbye to Where the Dogs of Society Howl. Have a great weekend, everybody.